this is fascinating because people literally pay crazy amounts of money for this bottle right here.
I mean, it's aight.
It's good whiskey, but it's not anything super special. I mean, it's almost like Buffalo Trace priced it at $50 because they know
that it's worth
a $50 bottle.
Yeah. Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we are back with another double-blind head-to-head where we draw samples at random from our head-to-head sample pool. We don't know what's in either glass, but we do put these matchups in here because they're interesting. It could be something available versus allocated, inexpensive versus expensive. We don't know, but you already do. What you're going to see us do is you're going to see us nose and taste each glass, see how they each stand alone, how they compare. We'll then give them some ratings, find out the price and see if that changes our ratings before we find out what we're drinking. We do it this way so you get the most honest opinions possible. There's no labels or hype or bias that could possibly cloud our opinions. We just let the glasses speak to us. And speaking of, glass number one's calling my name.
Let's do it.
Let's get it on the nose.
This smells like air and pepper and wood.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This to me just smells like really classic bourbon. It might be a little bit fruit forward, although it's not recognizably any fruit to me, at least right off the bat. Maybe an appley sweetness, but for the most part, just smells good, pleasant, sweet, bourbony. Let's get it on the palate.
Oh, I'm getting some fruit. Maybe it's like licorice, like a cherry licorice.
Yeah, I see your cherry licorice. It also, to me, has a little bit of a banana sweetness, but banana, I can't even say it right.
A-N-A-N-A-S.
But it's got like this kind of banana cherry mixture to me.
Yeah.
I say this sometimes, like it reminds, when I start getting banana and cherry together, it reminds me of like a banana split, something like that. A little desserty, but this is definitely more fruit forward, cherry, licorice. Let's get into another sip.
All right. Nothing changes for me really. I'm getting maybe a little bit more of the oak that's coming forward.
I agree. Yeah.
Everything else is the same. It tastes kind of like cherry licorice that's like rolled around in some wood chips.
Yeah. I don't think I could say it any better myself. I will say that it is a fairly easy sipping pour, but the finish is lingering around. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's high proof is what I mean by easy sipping.
I don't think it's high proof. I think it's like 100 proof, around that 100 proof range.
Yeah, it drinks fairly soft. It's not too thin. It's not notably remarkable on the body. Like it doesn't have a ton of oiliness or anything, but the finish is kind of sticking around right now.
I disagree. I think it's oily and the finish is sticking. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can't wait to see how glass 2 compares. Let's get into it on the nose.
I'm not getting anything other than like classic bourbon. It smells a little bit like the outside and bourbon. Yeah,
and we're filming this outside, if you couldn't tell, so that's maybe why Erin's getting so many outside
Maybe,
notes.
yeah, that's why we're in the outside. We're in the upside down.
To me, this smells like, again, classic bourbon, like you said.
Yeah.
It does have some fruity sweetness like glass 1 did, although, again, nothing is really jumping out to me on the nose.
Same.
Maybe that's these 2 glasses. Maybe that's this thing messing up on me. Very well could be. Let's get it on the palate.
I'd say this is very similar to glass 1, but less flavor. Like I'm getting cherry licorice, but less of it, and it's thinner. It's thinner than glass 1 for sure.
It is certainly thinner. The finish does not stick around as long.
Yeah.
It's no banana in glass 2, like banana on glass 1, although it was more cherry forward on glass 1. This is more cherry forward as well. It kind of reminds me of like when you would get those cherry ices. But then
like at the movie theater?
Yeah, but then they would melt down and kind of get watered down.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this reminds me of. It has that kind of same similar like cherry icy flavor profile. Another sip.
Yeah, just kind of watered down flavor. It's good flavor, but it's like watered down and pretty light in the viscosity of the liquid. It's like kind of watery liquid.
Yeah, especially coming off of one where it seemed to have a little stickiness on the palate and it lingered around. Glass 2. Definitely thinner by comparison. Good though.
Yeah, they both taste good. So I think it's like a matter of what you prefer as far as like the thickness of the liquid and the finish and stuff like that, because they both taste good.
Not knowing what these are, but knowing that things are in the head-to-head pool because they're interesting matchups, I can 100% see why these 2 were paired up against each other. They both taste like classic Kentucky bourbon, except they're a little lighter on the caramel and vanillas, and they're a little bit more fruit forward. So depending on what they are, if you're looking for fruit forward bourbon and that's your speed, either one of these would be great choices, I think. They're the kind of things that I could sit down and sip on while I'm watching a movie and not really think too much about them. But then if I did want to focus on them a little bit, maybe Glass One brings a little bit more to the table in that regard. But we're going to need to spend some time with these and see what we think, not talking to a camera.
Yeah.
We're going to pick some winners. We're going to give them some ratings, and then we'll find out price and go through the rest of this.
Absolutely. But I do have one caveat for Glass 2.
Okay.
I'm getting kind of a slight like minty feeling going down my throat.
Yeah.
Like spearmint.
Okay. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
I don't know what that means.
It's a little like bright on the back end.
It's like I breathed in like cold air.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, weird. That's
I've
weird.
already done my transition to the little time lapse thing, so we'll forget that and just go right into it. All right. Very interesting, actually. After spending some time with these, which one did you prefer? Was it close? Why did you prefer that one? Where you at?
I will say they're both good, but I had a clear winner, and it was Glass 1, because as I was drinking it, it became more savory, and I like it reminded me of like butterscotch and bacon, and then the finish was lingering, which I liked. Glass 2 was good, but the finish wasn't very lingery, and it was the liquid itself was kind of thin.
I think I'm in the exact same place.
Yeah.
They're both good. They're both fine. I like them both. I don't necessarily feel like I have to have a bottle of either one, personally speaking, but I do enjoy them both. I'm assuming if they're in our head-to-head pool, we do have bottles of them, unless we finish them and
Or we
no
have
longer
had
have
them. Yeah.
But to me, Glass 1, yes, after spending some time with it, it smelled like you're sticking your nose in a bag of butterscotch chips. But then on the palate, all the stuff that was still there clung around, that banana cherry type of note. More cherry banana, not banana cherry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm not
banana cherry.
I'm not getting banana.
When you say the first one, like if I say banana cherry, it means the cherry's predominant?
No.
If I say cherry banana, then that means the banana's dominant.
No.
It's cherry dominant.
You say cherry first. It's cherry banana.
Okay, it's cherry with a hint of banana.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If someone's winning, you say like 1-0.
Let us know in the comments below. If this glass is predominantly cherry with a little banana,
You say cherry banana.
is it cherry banana or is it banana cherry? I think it's banana cherry because you're putting the emphasis on the syllable on the second word, banana cherry, rather than cherry banana.
I don't say cherry banana.
Okay.
I'm not putting the emphasis on the second syllable.
Nonetheless, this one, cherry with a little touch of banana, oaky, vanilla, very good. This one, while Glass 2 was very good in comparison, or it was good in comparison, still had that cherry sweetness, kind of like a cherry freezer pop or that melted icy vibe to it. Little mintiness, a little bit of, that brightness on the back of the palate.
Like a cooling sensation.
Yeah, it seems like, I'm not guessing here, but it gives me the impression that Glass 1 might have a little bit more age on it compared to Glass 2.
Possibly.
Because Glass 1's a little bit more well-rounded. But anyways, we both prefer Glass 1 clearly, easily.
Yep.
It was kind of close. It's not like Glass 2's a mile behind, but they're both pretty good. Let's get into your ratings on these. Where are you at on Glass 1?
So they're both good, so I don't know if I should give them both thumbs up.
If you like them, we don't know the price yet.
I like Glass 1. It gets a thumbs up.
Okay. And Glass 2?
I liked it. It also gets a thumbs up.
Okay. I think I'm in the same spot. I like them both. Thumbs up. I don't know if I have to have a bottle of them. It's going to be very price contingent for me because if the price gets much above $30 on either one of these, I'm going to start rethinking where I'm at on both of them. But let's go ahead and find out the price first. So in our key, glass number 1 is number 39 and glass number 2 is number 40. So the price on glass 1 is
$50.
Okay. I said I'd rethink it much over 30, but I can't be mad at 50 for that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
pretty,
not mad.
It's pretty all right.
I'm not mad at all.
All right, glass number 2, price?
Also $50.
Okay. I'm not quite as jazzed on glass 2 at 50.
Yeah. I think in comparison to glass 1, it's lighter flavor, lighter viscosity. So like lighter everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is a point of note for us. When you're doing a head-to-head like this, maybe both of these are great pours for $50 and bottles that you would readily buy. For us, if we prefer glass 1, there's not a whole lot of reason to buy glass number 2 in our mind. We don't want that much overlap if we can help it.
It's a head-to-head. this is compared to this.
Right.
Not all the other whiskey in the entire world.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and find out what glass 1 is, our winner. Or you want to find out glass 2. What am I doing? It's like I've never done this before. Glass 2, and our key is...
E.H. Taylor Small Batch, Bottled in Bond.
That math checks out.
And it is 100 proof.
That math checks out. We thought
Yep.
it was about 100 proof.
Yep.
I don't know if we said it on or off camera, but we were talking about it being about 100 proof. What is glass number 1?
Old Forester 1897, Bottled in Bond, 100 proof. I'm smiling because when we went to Old Forester, that was one of my favorites. I liked 1897 and 1910.
And you like the you like the 1870, the low proof 90 proofer because it was all earthy. And,
but I also liked 1897.
Yeah, 1897.
I liked the 1800s ones and then 1910.
Yeah.
And that made me happy because it's very good.
That math checks out.
Yeah.
This was giving me Old Forester vibes, but didn't want to say it because I'm not trying to guess what they are. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to give both glasses their fair shake.
You're trying to be right.
This is giving me Buffalo Trace vibes. So I actually thought this might be 17.
You give me Buffalo Trace vibes.
I thought this might be 1792 small batch, and this might be Buffalo Trace, but they were drinking with more proof than that. So
yeah.
Nonetheless, these are both, again, fruit-forward, relatively sweet bourbons. So if you can't find E.H. Taylor, which you're probably not going to be able to.
Oh, it's hard to find?
Oh, it's very hard to find.
Oh.
And places mark it up. It's supposed to be a $40 to $50 bottle. Places mark it up to $65 to $100 or more dollars.
Oh, wow, okay.
And, you know what? Before we found out we were supposed to see... I think we kind of covered the fact, all right, look, it's been a minute since we filmed, so
we forget?
We forgot to see if the price changed our ratings or not.
It didn't.
I think we were both saying we're not mad at either of them for $50. However,
I probably honestly would have changed glass 2 to just okay for $50 compared to glass 1.
Yeah.
In general, it's a good pour, but when you're comparing it against glass 1, which had more flavor and more thickness and more fullness, then I would have given glass 2 just okay and glass 1 a thumbs up.
That's not just okay. That's thumbs down. That's a hard pass.
This. Just okay, thumbs up.
Can you guys tell us we haven't I can't even speak right, much less can we
Words
record
are
right.
hard, y'all.
Yeah, we're a mess today, but hopefully this showed you guys that the hype isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be. Is this bottle hard to find? Is E.H. Taylor fairly rare in a lot of markets? Yeah, it is. Is it appreciably better than everything else in its category? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It
say
just
so.
got beat by a bottle that sits on shelves across the U.S. everywhere and probably most of the world. Old Forester definitely keeps stock out there. So hopefully this dispels some of the hype, fights some of the FOMO, that fear of missing out. We like to do that around here. I could have worn my Fight the FOMO shirt today. It would have been perfectly appropriate for this head-to-head. But hopefully this was fun for you guys to watch. Hopefully it was informative on some level. And hopefully it encourages you to do some blind tastings of your own. So check the video description below for a link to the sample jars we use. Not affiliated or anything like that. We just encourage you guys to, for $15, get a dozen sample jars, put 3 or 4 of your favorite pours in there, and then put some regular stuff in there that you think you kind of like, but you're not really sure. And just mix them all up, draw one at random or whatever, taste it.
Or pair them up like we do and do a head-to-head.
You can do it that way as well. But it's very enlightening when you remove all the hype and the bias of the labels because stuff like this can happen. Speaking of things happening, if you like what's happening over here, then subscribe because this is the kind of content we bring you guys every week. Do 4 videos a week, live streams, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
The bell will help you on the live streams because we do those once a month, but we would love for you to join us for a pour. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. It helps us a ton as well.
Absolutely. I think that's all we can say for today.
That's it.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.